So welcome to day 3 of the Captain's Blog, and it's a glorious morning. It's the 24th of April, and one has to ask, is it spring or is it summer? Here I am, it's 8:45 in the morning. I'm in a t-shirt and I'm leaving Brampton Common, which is behind me, behind. I didn't have to be a super early start today because of the tides to go back across Braden Water, back to my home stomping ground in the Northern Rivers. Unfortunately, yesterday's epic trip down from Womack, however, in the hot sun, as I'm not sure if you can see, made me turn into a rather large beetroot. Made worse because I was wearing my sunglasses, and as you can probably tell, I now have two very white rings around my eyes, most unattractive. So there's two trying to put sunglasses on with your left hand and looking cool on camera. My plan therefore is leaving now, go up to Reedham, more there for water, and see if the shop, the stores, the little post officey place, might either have a sun hat or some sun cream, because I didn't think of bringing either. Why would I? It's April. Last week we were having winds and some places snow and everything. Anyway, this is lovely. So I'm not sure what exactly the plan is today. I know we're going to be going over Braden Water again at some point, about 3:30. And then I think I'm actually going to overnight in my home boatyard at Acle, Horizon Craft, and possibly pop into the Bridge Inn tonight, because it's either a nice gourmet pub meal in the Bridge or a lasagna from Budgeon's on board. Yeah. So anyway, that's what's happening at the moment, and you know what's brilliant when you're on holiday and it's like this, is I'm thinking of all my colleagues at work, and I know what's going on there, and in London, especially where the office is, and and here I am with swans for company, brilliant blue sky, and doing what the hell I want, where I want to go, when I want to go, is just brilliant. So more as it happens. So you join me here inside the boat because I'm trying to keep Mr. Beetroot Face from turning any more beetroot colour, and so I'm at the internal helmet. It's very comfortable. I'm not sure if you can pick up the sound of the engine that well on the microphone. It probably makes it sound more loud than it actually is. It's a well insulated engine bay for sound, but a modern engine, an ANI unit, will actually be a lot more smoother, not just quieter, and so the resonance of the engine, the vibrations, do make themselves felt throughout the boat. If you're going to hire this boat though, it's not that intrusive, and I'll show you what controls you get here in the inside helm. So as you can see, this is the forward view from inside. All of the windows on this boat are tinted, but it means that it looks, I think, quite cool from the outside, and it certainly helps keep the sun out on the inside and temperatures down a little bit. This boat has got the pulpit rails still. Many types of boat like this, take St Julian for example, from Richardson Stallion Base. Sadly, after many years of hirers getting ropes sort of clanged round them or crashing into key headings, they get bent out of shape, and you can't really unbend them very easily, and to fabricate all of this stainless steel would cost an absolute fortune, so they just remove them. This one here, as you can see, has got some bents out of shape, but it's still on the boat, and it does form a handy guide to see where the front of the boat is. You've also got a windscreen wiper, as you can see, and then looking down here at the controls, you've got an interesting light here that says, very important, when the light shows, please pump out forward toilet. Now, the aft toilet on this boat is a modern electric, press the paddle down and the water comes in. Mind you, that water comes from your domestic supply. But the forward toilet is the old-fashioned pump-out sort with the handle you have to pump up and down. But I've not found a boat that's got a light to tell you that you've got to pump that one out. So that's handy to have. You've got your domestic water on-off switch here, your wiper, your bilge manual doesn't work, horn, the mystery switch. You've got the water temperature for the engine, no oil PSI, just an oil warning light if it's running low. You've got your domestic volts here, the rev counter there, which just sort of does its own thing depending how it feels, and you've got the engine volts here as well. You've also got a 12 volt accessory lighter here, and a rather interesting throttle down here. Now I'm going to try and show you how responsive this boat is. This is a fine boat to drive. So I'm going to take this out of gear. Okay, so we're in neutral. Now in gear that should be ticking over. It's not. A bit further. Nothing. 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 Suddenly something. But not tick over, mind. No, this is 1500 RPM. And then that's all we get. So down here all the way, that's how much we've got. Just over 1500, what's that? So 1700 RPM. So for your speed freaks, this isn't a boat for you. You're not going to break any world records in this. The outside helm control though is just as kind of unresponsive, but it provides you with about 2000 RPM, but I don't like the smell of the exhaust when we're doing that, say when we came over Breedon Water, so I kept the revs down. So that's basically what's happening. That's what it's like to drive from inside. You've got a lovely big steering wheel here, comfortable seat. And it continues to be just an absolutely lovely morning. As you can see now, the time is just 9:10. It's April the 24th, and it might as well be August for all I care. I've got a great deal on this boat because I hired San Celino in March, so I got 20% off this boat because it's my second holiday, and because I started on a Monday, I saved an extra 30 quid. So, you know, this is a really good lot of boat for a very reasonable price. So you join me here, just in front of me is the Cantonese Sugar Works. It's 10:30 exactly. I've got Radio 2 on, it's pop quiz time just coming up. And what's happened is the sun has got stronger, the temperature continues to rise, and yet my weather app on my phone is telling me that come the end of the week, all of this is going to change. It's going to be cold, 8 degrees, raining, and I just can't believe it. So hopefully that's wrong. This will continue, this glorious weather, and I just wanted to update you on that, really. So just to make you envy us, perhaps where you are at work, and remember this day, oh, when it was nice and hot. Yeah, anyway, so this is the rather industrial view that greets me ahead. So as you can see, there is the works now, because especially actually in colder weather, this can be exceptionally atmospheric, because all of the steam that will be coming out of those chimneys, now of course when the weather's warm like today, it's not showing, unless today is just a day where they've downed tools, who knows. So it's something. I mean, my parents came here on a Calypso years ago and told me how they had to moor here, and they really didn't much like it because of the smell that kept blowing downwind. So I haven't moored here, I won't be mooring here, we're carrying on past here. The next stop today will be Reedham, and hopefully there'll be space there. There should be. Actually, have to say, it's actually quite popular with Richardson's boats all the way up from their Stalin base. I've seen 5 boats from there, ranging from Carousel to Fine Gem and San Suzanne, amongst others. So they're all coming down here. So, you know, maybe people are starting to explore the Southern Broads a little bit more, preferring the quieter waterways that you find down here compared to the Northern Broads. And I must admit, although there are some stretches where there's not a great deal to be seen, there's peppered along with some quite staggering beauty. This perhaps isn't one of those moments, but there has been plenty along the way. So if you've never been down to the Southern Broads, maybe you're a first timer and you think, well, I'm not sure about going over Breedon Water, it's scary. As long as you get the tides right, if it says that low water's at 2 o'clock, turn up about 2:30 and you'll find it no more scary or worse than just going along the river. But it's all about planning, and it's working out how long places take to get to, and as long as you do that, and there's your tide tables in your skipper's manual, there's a times table as far as, you know, working out rough distances and times between places, again in your skipper's manual. It really is very simple. So from here at Cantley, more later. So as you can see, this is a very picturesque, nice village, Reedham. It's very quiet. The road doesn't run by the quayside, so at night time it's nice and quiet. There is a BA patrol here, so you know, helpful with checking ropes before he leaves for the evening and giving advice, and very pleasant place. So if you're coming this way, do stop off at Reedham. It's a lovely place. So I'm just moored here at Reedham, waiting for the tide to go before casting off and heading down towards Great Yarmouth. And this is an example of a hire crew doing things by the book. They've both got their life jackets on, as you can see. They've turned the boat round to come in against the outgoing tide. And there's good communication and good boat control. So I just wanted to show you this, that, you know, with a little bit of patience and a little bit of understanding of things, you can get things just right. So as you can see here at Reedham, when the tide's flowing out, it does move at a fair pace. I arrived here shortly before the tide started going out, and I'll be departing at about 2:15, and that will mean that the last of the ebb tide will help carry me down towards Yarmouth. Then it'll be crossing Breydon Water, and hopefully by the time I've crossed Breydon Water there will be very little, if none at all, coming down the Bure to fight against. But that's me trying to be brainy with guessing and tides, and so if that works out, that'd be a miracle. So as you can see, just left Reedham behind, and in front of us is the Haddiscoe New Cut, and we're going to be turning left, heading towards Great Yarmouth. This hat I bought in Reedham. There was no sunscreen or cream in Reedham. But I needed something, and I didn't really want to just be stuck inside all the time, so I've got this to protect my neck and back here that's burning as well as the face. Yes, I suppose there's a rule on a boat that, you know, you can wear stupid things and get away with it that you wouldn't otherwise walk down the street wearing. So goodness knows how I must look, but time now is 2:30, departed Reedham just behind me about 2:20. Low water at Great Yarmouth is 3:40, so just taking it easy with the outgoing tide, and we'll see what the state of play is when I get to Breydon Water. But that's the update for now. The lovely sun continues, the light breeze keeping things cool up top. It's a lovely day still. So here we are, we're just at the Burney Arms public house, which is just over here. And I'm pleased to say it's back open for business, and that means that this here, curving out, is the beginning of Breydon Water. If you were going to places like St Olave's, down to Beccles, etc., you would come round here and then off down there. But we're going to the left and then over, heading for Great Yarmouth. By the time we reach Great Yarmouth, it should be low water precisely, and will give us the maximum clearance under the bridges at Great Yarmouth, which is important when you're having a boat like this. And it should also mean that the last of the tide should have ebbed out of the Bure, or if it hasn't, it shouldn't be too much hard work against as we make our way up the Bure towards Acle. Once again, it is a bit windy here, so I can't really record and talk, but it's another lovely day. I haven't seen another boat yet, so it's very quiet as well, very lovely. And blow me down that there's a Spirit of Braden on patrol. I don't think it's a very pretty looking boat. It shot off down to this end, and now it's going to turn around and slowly go up the other end. So here's the new yellow post. In fact, there's green, 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 yellow, and they're all new. And that's an incredibly large crane. So when you've come across Braden, give the yellow post a wide berth. You want to come round like this. No cutting. There's even a big sign now that says so. But equally, you don't want to go too far over there towards that bank of mud either. So now I'm just going to go and concentrate, because I need to double check on the height for Vauxhall Bridge. Okay, so we've turned now the corner and we've got bags of room under Vauxhall Bridge. Now you remember the last time I was here, I was on Sunlit Horizon on Lads Week, and it was a torrential stream of tide coming down and eddies and all sorts of stuff. And today, of course, it's a much quieter affair. And this is how you should find it, you see, so it's not scary. This is what it's like when you come at the time that you should come, when it's just low water. We're approaching slack water. There's a little bit of tide we're going against, but not a great deal. And so we'll come through here, keep between the red arrows. It can be a tight squeeze if another boat is just sort of approaching you at this sort of point. If that happens, keep the power on to give you steerage. Don't go too close to the bank. You'll get through just fine. So that's the lowest of the two bridges out of the way, and then there's this one here which is a bit higher. As we come under this bridge, there is a 5 mph speed limit, and shortly past that you'll find the yacht station at Great Yarmouth, where you can moor if you're going to visit Great Yarmouth. From the yacht station to the beach is about a half-an-hour walk, and it's about 15 minutes into the centre of town. We're just coming under this bridge. There is just a little bit of eddying going on under there, just a little bit of steering and put just to keep us on course, nothing to worry about. And here where you can see the Broads Authority launch, I believe that could be, that's where the yacht station moorings start. You do have to pay if you're mooring overnight there or for the day. There's showers, toilet facilities. So, but we're bypassing Great Yarmouth, and we're going to be heading up the Bure now to Acle. So we're going up the River Bure at the moment, and I must admit, when I came down the River Bure and I was talking about, oh, it's lovely when you're just taking it slowly and it's beautiful and lovely. Oh, look at it. It's all muddy and boring. Oh, I don't know. So here we are, the end of the day. It is 20 minutes exactly past 6 in the evening, and I've moored here at the Bridge Inn because I can't resist their food, frankly. So that's where I'm going to be heading off tonight. And it's been, you remember when I said yesterday how you should take time and chill out and just tick over, take the tide down the Bure. Well, when it's sort of cloudy and chill in the air and you want to get to Acle, yeah, ignore that, it's just a long drag. Anyway, I want to show you something else. Whenever I moor here, I never seem to be able to figure out how to do the ropes properly, because either the bow drifts out too far, or in this case the stern wants to keep drifting out. And if I have them too loose, then it seems to drift out even more. And if I can't have them obviously too tight, because the tide has gone out, but it will come back in the middle of the night. So and that I think needs to be a little bit more slack. But what I've actually done here is I've tied them off on the cleats on the boat, so that if I come out and think, whoa, that's a bit tight, it's easy just to undo, let a bit out, slacken them off and tie them back off again, rather than getting off and tying them up here. But this is a lovely mooring here at the bridge end. Great food, at least for me. I've never had a bad portion of food here. It's traditional kind of pub food, you know, it's not fancy stuff, but very good staff. And if you eat here, the mooring fee is refundable. Yes, it's been a long day. Left Reedham at 2:20, between 2:15 and 2:20. So been a long day at Helm again, but now we're on the northern rivers, and I know where I'm going now. I know how far places are, and it's just a bit more relaxed. You don't have to worry about tides so much and rise and falls and all this kind of stuff. So I think tomorrow probably head off to Potterheim, and then from Potterheim up to Stalham probably. But we'll see what happens. So if you've been watching, then I hope you've enjoyed what little tidbits I've been able to offer you. Having this kind of boat, as I've said before, I can't really put the camera anywhere to get some pretty shots going along, and the wind has been so blustery that it's really meant it's been difficult to record as I'm going along. So they're not the longest vlogs this time, but if you have been, thanks for watching.